All the time. That was called Como Fue. I learned that from a Benny Murray recording, a great Cuban artist from the 50s. Now we're going to do an American love song. I learned this first from the doo-wop group The Platters, but then found the much older version from the Busby Berkeley film Dames. And my favorite story to tell about this song is that it's the only song that my very grouchy uncle will dance to, called I Only Have Eyes for You. Waltz style called musette, called Flambée Montalbanaise. Kyle actually introduced me to that piece. And I need to mention that Kyle writes all of my arrangements. This is basically Kyle's group as much as it is mine. This next one is another one. What we're going to do now is maybe my favorite piece that we do, and it's a Disney number that Kyle introduced me to from Robin Hood. And it's going to feature the string quartet at the beginning with some very beautiful writing that is largely stolen from the movie, I think, from an incidental scene that happens, or some incidental music that happens in the background of the scene. Unless you are a real music head like Kyle, you probably wouldn't even notice this music happening in the moment. It blends so beautifully in the background of some dialogue between Maid Marian and Lady Cluck. And we call this one Maid Marian. You might recognize it as the theme song from the movie, which later has lyrics and is called Love. Cien Años. We're going to play the title song from the movie. This was sung by a great mariachi actor, singer named Pedro Infante. Cien Años means 100 years, and I think in the song he shows up in a bar. Well, he clearly has a crush on this woman in a bar, and his friends are sort of cajoling him to go talk to her, and he seems embarrassed too and a little shy, but then in true mariachi fashion, a string orchestra and a trumpet section come walking in. He stands up from his table and goes over to hers and croons this song to her. indulging me. I like schmaltz. I like schmaltz and I like shtick, and I'm not ashamed to say it. We're gonna stay with Pedro Infante for one more number. This is a beautiful song called Amorocito Corazón. 50 or 60, no, this is point maybe 60 years old that we don't do. That's an original of Kyle's that he wrote for my last record called Dança Da Fauna. We're going to do one now that was sung by the great Roy Rogers. Although, actually, was it Roy Rogers or was it Gene Autry? I think it was Roy Rogers. First sung by the great Roy Rogers, but you may also be familiar with the Fats Domino version of this song, which is the first one that I knew. I played this song when I was in the 5th grade, one of the first solos I ever played in front of an audience, and my mom never forgot it. And she's the reason I play this song today. All right, we got one more song for you. Before we play it, I want to introduce this incredible string quartet rhythm section that are playing with me. They learned all this music basically at a moment's notice, which is no small feat because it's a lot of notes and a lot of moving parts. Franz on the violin. I feel so guilty every time I get to do this because it's so much fun and it's so, I feel like it's so self-indulgent, if you will, because it's, you know, it's all my favorite music arranged by my favorite living arranger, and I don't know, you know, not everybody likes the same stuff you do, right? So I feel really lucky when I get to do this, so thank you guys for taking the time. John Unzenberg. Phil Keane is on the bass. And Henry Plum on the drums. Well, we're going to leave you with one more porch song here. This is one by an artist. Oh, if for the younger folks out there, that last song I realized I never said the name of it. It was called Blueberry Hill. I found my trail on Blueberry Hill. It's a beautiful song. But now we're going to do another one of my mom's favorites. This is by an artist who I was too dumb to realize how great he was when I was a kid. And she would listen to him, and I was only into jazz. I was like, why do we have to listen to this? And now I realize he's really one of the great crooners of all time, and this is an incredible song. This is Roy Orbison's Crying. See you at the dance. We all go to the dance? All right, see you there.
And the Athayde dance party is going to get started momentarily here. But we wanted to recognize some of the many, many contributors in our wonderful community and beyond who have made this possible. When Brian and I have taken our jazz bands down to Sitka for years, one of the most pivotal experiences for our young musicians' lives up till then. Hugely impactful. Kyle and his dad and the band have come there multiple years, and they've made a huge impact, and we know how important it is. So when Sitka didn't do it last year, and then wasn't planning on doing it again this year, we found out in November, and so we said we've got to try and make this happen. We ran into Sandy on the Flume Trail and said, you know, what do you think about getting jazz and classics together with the school district and us putting this thing together? You know, we've been there many, many, many times. We know the formula works like a champ and the greatest people around for it. And so she was all gung-ho for it, and checked with Zool, and it was a go, and the board jumped on behind it. And then, like, well, my goodness, this is going to be in February. How can we do this? And right away, it was November, and Kyle was so generous with his time and so supportive all along this. We just can't thank him enough, for sure. And, not only did he be a mentor and a muse, but he also said, "Let me check with one of my supporters." And he lives out in California, in the San Francisco area, and there's a foundation, Generations in Jazz, that I think your dad started. Is that correct? And it's wonderful supporting jazz education, jazz experience, and he said, let me check with them, and they got back with us and said, yeah, I've got a $10,000 grant that my people would be willing to support. That was Malcolm and Sylvia Boyce were the donors, and we really want to recognize them and thank them so much, and Generations in Jazz. And Bob Athayde, he's Kyle's dad. And I also wanted to thank Robert Zool for emceeing tonight. We really appreciate him stepping in and Thank you.
So there are a handful of people that have really come together to make this happen, and all of the people on the stage here have had an integral part. There's been so many factors here in Juneau that have helped us. The Juneau Lynn Canal Char also donated $10,000 to help get this going, and a big round of applause for them. We had grants from the Alaska State Council of the Arts. We had many individual donors donating to make this happen. There's been, I can't thank enough, and I don't know if you've seen him or not, but Alaska Music One and Keith Giles, he has graciously given all of his time free of charge at every single event that we've had. And let me tell you, it's been hopping. If you've been to the dance, if you've been to the children's show at the library, all of the shows here, any kind of technical aspect that we have, it's all because of Keith Giles and Alaska Music One. And as we put this whole thing together, we found that there are so many little details, and one of the big things that you don't think is such a big deal until it is, which is transportation. And the Cruise Line Agency of Alaska, Ryan Huff, has been pulling people, vans. They donated 3 of the minivans to get these guys to where they were going. They had 2 15-passenger vans running from downtown to the valley, back and forth, anywhere that we need to be, literally on call. It's been absolutely amazing. We've had Alaska Airlines donate some tickets to us. That was super great as well, being able to cut down our costs. A round of applause for them. And another huge one, we had the Ramada by Wyndham donate all of the rooms for all of our guest artists. Huge thank you to them.
On a transportation note, Ryan Van Kirk donated one of his family's vans for the K-High Jazz Band to get around.
And with that, I think everyone up here can see the value in what we do. Everyone out here is seeing the value of what we do. This is a really special experience for, I think, Mike and I, being able to go to Sitka for so many years, the last 15 years, and now for the first time be able to have you see what we've been seeing, and hopefully be able to continue it for many years to come. So thank you for all being here.
I haven't been up here today, but I'm Sandy with Juneau Jazz and Classics. And I just want to say thank you for letting us be part of this. And music education is a big part of what we do because we're educating the future jazz musicians that are going to come up to our festivals. So this has been the perfect partnership, and it's been amazing. So thank you for supporting it.
Players. We're so happy to have them here to play for you, so I have to introduce to you every single one of them by name. On the tuba, that's Jonathan Seiberlich. Our trombone player and audio engineer, Chris Palowich. And one of our split lead trombone players who usually plays third, so he's getting some high note practice this week, Eric Miller. And rounding out the trombone section, please give it up for Natalie Cressman. I always say the trombone section has some serious swag, and you're going to hear some of that right now. Here's the trombone. This end over here, my dear friend who came with us to Sitka when we first came to Alaska. We're happy to have him our first time here in Juneau. That's Joseph Boga. We have two people playing with the dance party for the first time. There are split lead trumpet players and they are so amazing. I'm incredibly happy to have them both here. Give it up for Brian Fincher. Our other lead trumpet player, that's Landon Grigsby. And rounding out the trumpet section on fourth trumpet, that's Harry Ostrander. I can't play high notes on trumpet, which is why I hire these guys, because I love hearing them play high notes. So here's some high notes from the trumpets. 1. Tommy Gardner. And our lead alto player was also on one of those first trips to Sitka. That's Matt Warshall. And our all-star soloist who you heard with his double quartet yesterday, none other than Eddie Barbash. And on the clarinet, bass clarinet, and tenor saxophone, please give it up for Xavier Del Castillo. So Tommy and Eddie and I went to school together, and we had a teacher who always said, "You gotta put a vibe on it." So here's the saxophones putting a vibe on it. We hope you enjoy this concert we have for you, this amazing band. We want to remind you that we are called Dance Party, and we're so happy to be here playing for you. This whole weekend's been amazing, and we're just happy to play some original music and show you what we do. And we can't do it without our great rhythm section, so please give it up for our bass player, Phil Keane. And our pianist, my dad, Bob Athayde. An alumnus of Akalani's High School, where I went to school as well. On drums, that's Henry Plum. And on the guitar, big round of applause for John Unziker. We're going to play my arrangement of the title theme from Mario Kart 64. This is going to feature Matt Warshall on alto saxophone and Natalie Cressman on trombone. Crestman on trombone. Landon Grigsby on lead trumpet on that one. We have another trombone solo for you. We're going down to Brazil for this one. And this is basically a transcription with a little bit of my own arrangement from The Three Caballeros, the Disney movie where Donald Duck is meeting all of his cousins from Latin America. And Jose Carioca, he says, "Have you ever been to Bahia? No? Oh, you must go." Turns out Jose has never been to Bahia either, so it's a little comical bit, but there's this beautiful scene where they just have all this like just beautiful illustrations, almost like watercolor paintings of Bahia. And so this song is about that. Sometimes it's called Bahia, but the original title is Baixa Do Sapateiro, and it's going to have a little bit of an intro from Joe Boga on the cup muted trumpet, and it's going to feature Eric Miller on the trombone. much on the cup-muted trumpet, Joseph Boga. And our trombone soloist, Eric Miller. This next song is an original composition that's inspired by my love of Japanese animation, also known as anime. And so many of the TV shows have these really catchy theme songs, and so I wanted to make my own and see if I could get it on a TV show. Nobody's picked it up yet, but if you know anybody who's making a TV show that needs a theme song, if you think this would fit the vibe, put them in touch. I've got business cards, we can talk afterwards. This is called Anime Theme Song. Thank you so much. Anime theme song for Eddie. It's actually called Blues for Eddie. And I always love hearing him solo on it so much. And of course, yesterday was his birthday, so anything for Eddie's birthday. And his birthday wish was actually for Tommy to solo on this one. So Eddie will not be playing on this piece, Blues for Eddie. For Eddie, Tommy Gardner will be playing Blues for Eddie. Truly Blues for Eddie. For Eddie Barbash's birthday, how about that tenor solo by Tommy Gardner? And for the day after Eddie Barbash's birthday, Night and Day, featuring Eddie Barbash. This next tune is another one inspired by my love for anime, but instead of the fun, lighthearted theme songs from the Slice of Life TV shows, this one is about the vicious, ruthless, bloodthirsty killers from the Tokugawa shogunate, the Shinsengumi, which were a police squadron that were feared all across Japan in the 1860s. And Shinsengumi is one of their names. They're also called the Mibu Wolves, and so this piece is called The Wolves of Mibu, and it's going to feature Xavier Del Castillo, or Tommy Gardner, who's playing on Tommy's playing. Right. It features Tommy Gardner on tenor saxophone, although they're now discussing. It's going to feature one of them. We're going to see what's going to happen. But it's going to have a tenor saxophone solo that's going to be absolutely brain-melting and shredding. It's funny because on our album, Xavier played it, but on the rehearsal, Tommy played it. Both of them have played all the solos, so there's a lot of discussing going on. But they have approximately 10 seconds before I count the piece off, so that's the time they have to figure it out, and whoever stands up is the soloist. solo to Xavier Del Castillo. Alaska. I've been here many times, as we've said in the past. A lot of times to Sitka, but I'd always take my layover in Juneau so I can go to the sandbar for fish and chips. I've been to Anchorage quite a few times. I went to Fairbanks for the first time last summer, and I have so many wonderful memories of being in Alaska. And of course, one of the greatest things about it is just the beautiful nature and the scenery. And one time that I was in Anchorage, I drove to Eagle River with some friends. And I just love all the mountains there. And I didn't actually see the Northern Lights, but I have this idea of what it must have looked like there. And I was writing a piece, and it was reminding me of all the different places in Alaska that I've been. Something about the name Eagle River just really resonated with me. So this next piece is called Eagle River, and it's just really, really chill. So if you need a nap, especially after what we just did, I might need one. This is the song for you. Think of it like lo-fi beats to study and relax to, something like that. This is Eagle River, and it's going to feature Phil Keen on the bass. Thank you so much. Harry Ostrander on the trumpet. I'm not just saying this because I'm up here. I think that's one of the most beautiful songs ever written. It's so amazing. Alaska's flag is truly beautiful. So we're always happy to be up here to play it because, well, it gives us a great excuse to play it. It's like, oh, another slow song? No, it's the slow song. So thank you for that. Okay, so now that you're well rested, something crazy. This is going to feature our drummer, Henry Plum. And this is, not too much. Like split the difference. So, no, Henry and I are really, really good friends. Like I said, we went to the same high school, him a few years before me. He's a little older than I am. But we hang out all the time, talk about lots of things, watch shows together and stuff. And he actually did a cosplay as the main character from one of my favorite TV shows, Cowboy Bebop, because he kind of looks like Spike. If you know Cowboy Bebop, then you see him as like, yeah. He really nailed it. So it's fun to feature him on something like this because it's another piece about anime. And this one's inspired by a TV show called Death Note. And there's a character in Death Note named Ryuk. He's a demon. He's a god of death. And he lives in the, I don't remember what the name of the world is, but it's like the death god world. And the apples there, they have apples, but they're sandy. They're just grainy and they kind of fall apart as soon as you try to eat them. But then he comes to the human world and he tastes a human world apple. And he says, ooh, these apples, they're so, how do you say, juicy. So Ryuk loves human world apples. It's like a great way to bargain with him. Like he won't kill you if you just give him some juicy apples. So I wrote a piece about that. The piece is actually musically inspired by the music from that show. It's a great show with great music. So I highly recommend you check it out. Death Note, it's called. And we're going to feature Henry Plum on Apples for Ryuk. you so much. On the drums, give it up for Henry Plum. This next piece is going to feature our all-star soloist, Eddie Barbash. Because we haven't featured him enough this week. Truth is, in my mind, there's never enough Eddie. And we love hearing him play slow, romantic songs. And I tried my hand at writing a slow, romantic song. And he sells it really well, so it makes it seem like a real hit. This one is called The Thing I'd Never Said. much Eddie Barbash on the alto saxophone. We have just a few more tunes for you, and we kind of put them all together as a little trilogy. I call them my funk trilogy, or the good feeling trilogy, because the song titles, as you put them together, they tell the story of this band, which is about music that feels really good. And in particular, the music is inspired by, as I said the other night, our good friend Phil Keane on the bass. Phil writes amazingly funky music. He introduced me to a lot of cool stuff like Take Six and voicings from the Phoenix Horns with Earth, Wind, and Fire, and all sorts of great gospel music. And Phil knows funky music. And so I wrote a couple pieces inspired by him, and those are the bread of the tuba sandwich, which we're going to be playing. So the three pieces are When It Feels This Good. Frankly, it's no coincidence. It feels so good. So we're going to play those for you right now. This first one featuring Phil Keane on the bass. bass. look on the tuba. We only have one more song to play for you, but we hope it leaves you feeling real good. One more time, our saxophone section. Noah Zebley, Tommy Gardner, Matt Warshel, Eddie Barbash, and Xavier Del Castillo. Our low brass section, John Cyberlake, Chris Palowich, Eric Miller, Natalie the Dressmaker. And the trumpets, Harry Ostrander, Landon Grigsby, Brian Fincher, and Joseph Boga. Our rhythm section on the piano, Bob Athayde. On guitar, John Underwood. On drums, that's Henry Plum. We did so many thank yous, but the people who gave those thank yous really need to be thanked because Sandy, Rachel, Mike, Brian, the four of them did so much work, and every time I had no idea what was going on, and they said, Kyle, do you think this and this and this and this and this and this and this? And all I said was yes. And then the festival happened. It's like, oh wow, Kyle, thank you so much for your generosity with your time. And I was like, yes, thank you for doing everything, and then just telling me I'm doing great. It makes me feel really good. But we're so happy to be here playing, and to have this festival happen, all the teaching and all the playing we've been doing has been amazing. And the fact that you're all here after marathon hours and hours of music shows how much you appreciate music and appreciate amazing players like this, and having this band here has just been amazing. So a big thank you to all of you and everyone for supporting the festival. There's so many people who do so much work that makes this happen, and it's just a real joy to get to be here playing. So thank you so much. And the whole time I've forgotten, we have merchandise. We have blue shirts and red shirts and blue CDs and red CDs and all sorts of stuff. So purchase some, take the band home with you, as they say, but come talk to us afterwards too. What about the what? What about the what? Ladies and gentlemen, on the bass, Phil Keane. people. We are the Cotton Club Dance Party. And one more time, how about it for this band? Thank you so much, Juneau.